Hi everyone, welcome to English Digest.
I'm Sam.
And I'm Angeline. So we're so glad you could join us today. Today, our writing task requires us to write an essay based on a picture. So I actually find this type of writing exercise really interesting because you can see how differently people can interpret the same picture.
Yes, OK. 今天呢，我们要进行的就是看图写作咯。看图写作呢，总是很有趣，因为呢，一张图哦，每个人的见解都不一样，每个人看到的东西都不一样。
In fact, Sam and I will likely have a different interpretation for this picture that we're about to see later. Before we begin, though, let's talk a little bit about priority seats.
Yes.
Okay, you've probably heard this. Priority seats are all over the MRT, the buses, pretty much public transportation in Taipei, right?
Yep.
So these are seats reserved for the elderly, the disabled, pregnant women, and people with young children. So if you're not sitting in a priority seat, would you still give up your seat to those in need?
Yes, of course. Yeah, that's the thing I want to talk about. Even though you're not sitting in the priority seat, you should give up your seat to those in need, and vice versa. If there's no one sitting, why don't you take the seat?
Okay, so if the priority seat is empty, would you go and take a seat there?
Yes, of course.
Yeah, okay. So let's take a look at our writing exercise today, right? So along with a picture, you will also be given a short written prompt to guide your writing. So before we begin any writing exercise, we must read the instructions carefully so you know what you have to do. So let's take a look at the writing prompt for our essay today.
OK， 好的，马上来看一下我们今天的写作提示了。他说呢，请仔细观察下方图片的内容，写出一篇120字以上的文章来描述图中的人、事物以及可能的发展。文章呢，需有合理的发展和完整的结局。
So our picture writing for today requires us to write a 120-word article to describe what is going on in the picture, paying attention to details like the people and the surroundings, okay? So of course, the story you come up with has to be logical, okay? If you take a look at our picture, it wouldn't be reasonable to write a story about a boy budging in line to see the doctor because there is no evidence that the people are at a clinic or a hospital. Plus, it doesn't look like he's really budging or anything, right? So make sure you're not making up a story that has nothing to do with the picture.
Yes, 好，没有错呢。看图写作呢，你可以天马行空咯。以前呢，我们有做过4张图的练习，单张图呢，相对于4张图限制又更少，你可以发挥的又更多了。但是呢，注意到呢，文章需有合理的发展。刚刚已经提醒你了，你的情节呢一定要合乎逻辑。例如呢，今天练习的这张图呢，就不会是在诊所或是医院里面候诊。OK， 因为呢，你有看到它有呢不爱坐，有提把，有很多人在车上哦，所以它是在捷运上或在车上，这点记得留意哦，要合乎逻辑。
And you also have to come up with an ending to conclude the story.
Yes.
So what do you think is going on in this picture, Sam?
I think the elderly man is scolding at the young student because he's sitting on the priority seats.
Oh, okay.
So the reasonable guess would be that the young man didn't give up his seat to the elderly man because he was feeling sick, or the elderly man caught the young student stealing from the woman sitting next to him.
Oh, yeah. I actually never thought about that. That's true.
It literally could be anything.
Yeah, because he kind of has his hand on his stomach, but maybe he's trying to hide the wallets that he stole from the old lady. Oh, there's a new twist to our story. That might be likely, yeah. Okay, so the picture writing exercise we did last month was based on a series of pictures. So we had to make sure we incorporated all the pictures into our story and then come up with our own ending. For this writing task, we are only given one picture. And like Sam said earlier, that means it kind of gives us more freedom, right? We have a little more freedom to develop your story. With one picture, you can decide to start your story with this picture as a basis, or use it to develop your plot, or even to end your story. For the purposes of this writing exercise, we can use it in the beginning or in the middle, since we actually have to come up with our own conclusion. So we can't have this picture as our conclusion.
OK， 刚刚提过呢，单张图片呢会比连环图片来的自由哦，因为呢你可以自己决定这张图片要用在哪里，是在你故事的开头呢，是在中间，但是呢注意到你必须自己呢要想出一个合理的结尾，这个是我们文章的提示所说的。那在这边呢，情节呢就不受提示控制了。注意到呢，我们的 的题是有要求呢，这个除了结尾之外呢，也有要求你要描述这个我们图片里的细节，所以呢，看到什么呢，就把它加进你的文章里，不仅符合要求，也可以让你的文章更加丰富咯。
So we also have to come up with a main theme for our essay. Our writing has to have a purpose, right? Will the story be centered around priority seats and who these seats are reserved for, or about being ignorant and making assumptions?
OK， 故事呢，我们总是要有一个主题的哦。你呢，可以环绕着不爱做这件事情讲啊，讨论呢这个不爱做应该是要给谁做，或是呢，我们也可以讨论呢，有些人虽然不是老人孕妇，但他可能身体不适哦，也应该要做不爱做等等哦，这些呢都可以当成我们文章的主题。那写作之前呢，我们可以挑一个主题哦，环绕着这个主题来进行脑力激荡。脑力激荡的时候呢，不管是中文、英文，甚至你画图都好哦，你可以呢在这个中心思想的外围填上呢任何你想到的东西，越多越好。脑力激荡过后呢，我们再来挑出可以用的，去无存菁，整理我们的灵感之后呢，再来进行大纲。
Okay, so the approach you might want to take with this writing exercise is to write about what is happening in the picture in the first paragraph, right? Describe what is going on. Well, what we can see is a young boy is occupying a priority seat, and an elderly man is angry about something. In the second paragraph, we can consider giving an explanation for why the young boy is not giving up his seat.
好，所以呢，建议的做法呢，在文章里面第一段落可以描述一下图片发生了什么事情，比方说这个男孩他占据了这个不爱做，然后这个老人呢在骂他，但是什么事情骂他呢？在这边我们可以第一个段落来描述一下，那第二个段落呢就可以探讨一下为什么会发生这件事情，比方说呢，他是不是身体不适啊，还是他在滑手机啊 OK， 或者是呢，经过了这件事情之后，这个角色有了什么体悟或是启发啊？这个呢，我们可以在第二段落来讨论一下。
So remember to pay attention to things like spelling, grammar, and punctuation, right? When you're writing a story or essay or article, anything, always pay attention to spelling, grammar, and punctuation. We're writing a narrative essay, so you can use either the first person, telling the story from the point of view of the elderly woman, the young boy, maybe an onlooker, or even the elderly man.
Yes.
Okay? Or you could also use third person to write the essay.
好，所以呢，在这篇文章我们要描述图片，讲一个故事，也就是叙述文。在叙述文里面呢，提醒大家呢，要先注意到你字有没有拼错啦，你的文法有没有用错。再来呢，在文章里面我们可以使用第一人称的角度来写作，你可以当图片里面的任何一个人，或者是呢用第三人称使用第三人称的角度来写作的时候呢，建议你可以将图中的角色命名，这样呢才不会一直比方说 she 啊 he 啊，讲到最后都不知道你在讲谁了。
That's true, yeah. Okay, so this is something new that we've come up with for our writing exercises. We've actually done this before. We just never categorized the fact that we've been doing this. But it's pretty much called brainstorming, okay? So even before we start our outline, we need to think about ideas. And usually me and Sam are the ones giving out ideas in the very beginning, right? That's before we talk about our outline. But brainstorming is very, very important. So before we begin drafting our essay, let's brainstorm some ideas based on what we see in the picture, okay? Take notes of what you see while keeping the 5 W's, who, what, where, when, why, in mind, and also how, right?
Yes.
Who is in the picture? What is happening? Where is the picture set? When do you think the picture is set? And why might what is happening in the picture be happening?
好，所以呢，我常说呢，这个看图写作最简单因为呢，你看着图就把所有事情就讲完了。如果觉得很难呢，赶快先问自己刚刚 Angeline 提到的这几个问题是在哪里发生，什么时候发生，图片里的人是谁，什么事情发生了，为什么发生 OK， 这些问题问完了，其实你故事的时事人地物这些背景你都已经设定好了，然后呢，在这个时候呢，我们可以刚刚讲到的，你有一个主题，环绕着这个主题脑力激荡一下，把你想到的事情记起来，加上呢我们刚问自己这5个 W 加上 how OK， 这些故事的背景呢，其实你就已经设定好了。
Okay, so the 5 W's may not be obvious in the picture, so you can actually use your imagination to answer some of them. So observe the subjects, okay, the people in the picture, and their body language, okay? That's very, very important, especially the position of their hands, as they usually represent emotions and actions, okay? We can tell the elderly man is angry. Aside from the fact that he does not have a smile on his face, we can also look at his facial expression, right? But we can also look at his fingers, okay? One of his fingers is pointed. Now, usually you don't point your fingers unless you're angry or you're nagging someone or scolding someone, right? I wouldn't be like, oh, Sam, you're such a great guy, pointing my finger. I might give him a pat on the back or something, but definitely not have my fingers pointed at him, okay? The boy looks like he has his hand over his stomach, okay? So from that, we can kind of guess, oh, maybe he's unwell. He's not feeling very well. Maybe he's nervous, or maybe he's even embarrassed because he's occupying a priority seat.
Yes.
Or like Sam said, maybe he stole something and he's trying to hide it in his hand.
Hide in the wallet.
Yeah, so everyone's interpretation of these pictures may be different, but it's important to ensure, again, your claims can be backed up by the picture.
Yes. OK, 所以呢 Angeline 在这边提醒大家了，在问自己这些问题哦，当你遇到困难答不出来的时候呢，可以呢多用你的想象力哦，多观察图片里的细节。比方说老人的这个手指着年轻学生哦，当你手指着别人的时候，应该是在骂人哦，不是呢在这个表扬他。表扬他的时候，通常不会指着别人。那呢，像学生的手，他放在哪里？他放在肚子的位置哦，是怎么样？不舒服了吗？还是呢，他是感到尴尬，还是他在藏什么东西哦？多观察这些细节呢，来回答刚刚说的几个基本的问题，马上呢就会知道我们文章要怎么继续下去咯。
And we can also take a look at the brainstorming web in our magazine, okay? In the center, you'll see this theme the writer has decided on, which is invisible disability, also called hidden disability. Okay, it's actually a term that captures a whole spectrum of hidden disabilities or challenges that are primarily neurological in nature, okay?
Okay, invisible disabilities 看不见的 OK disability 指的就是你身体的限制哦，所以呢看不到的这个你身体的限制，比方说你头晕啊，你哪里痛，或者是你失眠了，这些东西呢会很严重的造成你身体不适，但是在外观是很难看出来了。这时候我们就会说 invisible disability OK 是看不到的身体的状况。而在我们的范例的脑力激荡里面呢，作者就用这件事情来当做我们文章的中心思想咯。
The next step is to write down any words that come to mind, okay? So when we think of invisible disability, what can we write? We can even write all of these disabilities, right? Extreme fatigue, dizziness, chronic pain. Words then can be grouped together according to how they are related to each other. So feel free to write as many words as you want. In fact, the more the better. The biggest advantage of brainstorming is the amount of ideas that are generated, okay? This will make structuring your outline easier.
Yes.
And when you're brainstorming, you might be able to come up with like 2 branches of thoughts that you come up with. And then maybe initially you decided that you wanted to write based on priority seats.
Yes.
And then you realize, oh, the other idea that you came up with has actually even more facts and more information. And then you decide, okay, let's change course. Let's write about something else instead.
Yeah, OK， 所以呢，这个脑力激荡呢，还有刚刚提到的一个好处，除了呢，你可以帮助后面文章在列大纲的时候，你有很多这个 idea 之外呢，事实上呢，你也可能可以有2个不一样的这个中心思想啊。比方说，一开始你可能是想要写这个博爱座，讨论博爱座是应该要让谁来做，但是呢，你可能之后写了这个隐形的需求哦，可能觉得，事实上这个不是你原本要写的，但是它里面其实有更多细节、更多东西可以讨论哦，所以呢，你可以换到你觉得比较好讲的主题。这个呢也是脑力激荡 brainstorm 的一个很好的用途。
Okay, so now that we've done our brainstorming, we got all of our ideas down, it's time to look at our structure and our outline, okay? So the next order of business after brainstorming is to organize the ideas into an outline, okay? So an outline can help us organize the paragraphs into an order that makes sense, and it also ensures each paragraph is fully developed.
OK， 脑力激荡完了呢，就可以来拟定大纲了。拟定大纲呢，可以帮助你缩短实际写作的时间，而且会让你的整体文章架构更好。所以记得一定要先把你想要写些什么先条列出来咯。
That's right. Okay, so let's take a look at the outline created for writing sample 1. Okay, our first topic sentence is, Kevin got on the MRT feeling unwell. Okay, A, he was relieved to see an empty priority seat. B, he sat down next to an old woman. C, he didn't notice an older man coming toward him. And D, the older man demanded that Kevin get out of the priority seat.
OK， 所以呢，在我们的这个范例文章1里面呢，它就是以这个刚刚我们讲到隐形的需求作为它的中心思想啊。所以在第一段落里面呢，它就先用这个主题呢开始来描述图片里面的事情。所以呢，马上我们开头第一段落的这个主题句，它马上就开宗明义先讲了 Kevin OK， 他帮这个男学生这个主角命名哦 ，Kevin 上了捷运，然后呢，他觉得身体不适哦，马上呢就先把主题 题点出来，然后呢他开始描述细节呢，他很开心找到呢有这个博爱座，他旁边呢坐了一个谁，坐了一个老太太。那呢当指着他骂了这个老人上车的时候呢，他没有注意到 OK 这个老人呢就很生气哦，就请这个 Kevin 呢离开博爱座。在第一个段落里面呢，这边我们就是马上把这个中心思想提出来，同时呢描述图片里面发生了一些什么事情。
Okay, and the second topic sentence for the second paragraph is Kevin was too shocked to speak. Okay, I think, of course, he would feel that because an older man demanded that he get out of the priority seat. Okay, Kevin, he felt everyone staring at him, obviously, because this older man is making a scene in an MRT.
Yes.
And he told the older man he needed this seat because of his pain. Okay, so now we know why Kevin is sitting on the priority seat.
OK，所以呢，在第二个段落里面呢，他就接续着讲后面这个图片之后发生的事情OK， 他感觉到这个很害怕，他不敢讲话了，讲不出话来，感觉大家都在看他但是呢，他还是跟这个老人解释了，跟他解释说呢，为什么他要这个坐博爱座，因为呢，他身体真的很不舒服。
Okay, and our conclusion, the older man apologized and went to find another seat. Okay, good for the older man.
好，所以在文章最后呢，我们要给他一个结论，一个结局这是刚刚我们提示所要求的。在我们的范例文章里面呢，最后这个老先生呢就理解了学生的理由，理解他身体不适，跟他道歉，并且去找其他位子咯。
So from this outline, we can see our story begin to take shape, right? We can go back and look at whether we've included everything so our story makes sense. We can also see where we need to cut information or find places where more information is needed.
写作呢很常需要回头去看看你可以看看哪里少了，哪里多了。那大纲的好处呢，就是你回头要改，不用改这么多。如果你劈头就开始写，写到后来，你回头要改就要费很大的功夫了。所以呢，提醒大家记得先拟定大纲，可以帮你省下很多时间
So now that you have your introduction, your conclusion, and an outline, writing the body of the essay should be fairly straightforward, okay? All you need to do is expand the ideas in your outline. This involves making paragraphs that not only flow from sentence to sentence within the paragraphs, but also between each paragraph. So you can do this with the help of transitions. Okay, so now that we've done our brainstorming and our outline, and I think we pretty much know what we're going to do, we should take a quick break because my brain is fried from thinking too much. Writing Sample 1. Kevin got on the MRT this morning already feeling pain in his joints. He was relieved to see an empty priority seat. He sat down next to an older woman, who smiled at him pleasantly. Kevin was so relieved to sit down that he didn't notice an older man with a cane coming toward him. "Excuse me, boy," the man said, making Kevin look up in surprise. "Don't you know this seat is for the elderly and disabled? It's not for lazy students to lie around on. Move aside." Kevin was too shocked to speak at first. He could feel everyone in the car staring at him, expecting him to get up. Finally, though, he found his voice. "Sir, I need this seat. I have a disease that leaves me in constant pain. I may not look disabled to you, but I am." The older man flushed in embarrassment and mumbled an apology as he went off to find another seat. Okay, so aside from priority seats in the MRT, buses, and also auditoriums like theaters and, concert halls, you can also find priority queues and even priority bathroom stalls. Okay, so I have a question. Do you think it's okay to sit in a priority seat if it's not in use?
Yes. Like I said, priority seats mean these people, like elderly pregnant woman, has high priority in using these seats, but it doesn't mean you cannot sit on it.
Okay. The reason why I'm asking this is because actually, when I first came to Taiwan, I noticed that actually people don't sit in the priority seats. They kind of leave them empty. And I always felt bad, so I never went to sit in the priority seats. But in other countries like Hong Kong, Singapore, Vancouver, we can sit in the priority seat. But obviously, we have to get up when we see somebody who needs it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that's why I was always confused because in Taiwan, people are so polite. They never sit in the priority seats. Well, most of the time. I actually avoid sitting in these seats because it can be quite awkward to offer your seat sometimes.
Yes.
Like, what if you mistaken a woman for being pregnant and she's not pregnant? Okay, that is pretty insulting.
That's super awkward. Yeah, I found the same thing. Like when you are like offering seats to these people, sometimes you will be thinking like, is she pregnant?
Yeah.
Or like, is he old enough to... It's really hard. And yeah, but when the train is super empty, I would absolutely sit on it.
Yeah, of course. Okay, I see. So I think the old man was actually rather rude to confront the boy in this matter, okay? He made an awful assumption about the boy and he even called him lazy.
No, that's no.
Yeah, he could have been polite about it instead of saying move aside.
Yeah.
By the way, move aside, step aside, move away, they actually sound like orders, okay? And you might have also heard out of my way and get out of my way.
Move.
Yeah, these are not very polite ways to tell somebody to give way to you, okay? Keep this in mind, okay? Because it's very important. Instead, you can say, excuse me, can I get past? Or actually, excuse me or pardon me is usually good enough because, you know, it's quite obvious that you want to get past.
Yes, that's very important. 好，所以呢，看到文章里面呢，他讲说这个 move aside 或者是 step aside，OK， 闪边去哦，这个是非常粗鲁，感觉是吵架才会讲到的。所以呢，在外面，当你遇到有人要借过，或者是呢你要请他让座的时候，不要讲 move aside 或 step aside， 这个感觉是你要打架了。如果呢你要礼貌一点呢，其实你跟他说 excuse me 或是 pardon me 就很够了。OK， 大家就知道你想要做什么了。
Yes, and also, please do say excuse me or pardon me. Don't just push because this happens a lot to me in Taiwan. People love to push. Okay, instead of saying anything, they just push, which I think is probably worse than move aside or step aside. Yeah. Okay, and the word disabled is used to describe a person who has a physical or mental disability. This means they are unable to perform one or more natural activities like walking. If you have a physical disability, that means it might prevent you from walking properly or walking steadily or seeing, okay? So that's what we say, disabled people.
OK, disabled 就表示呢有障碍的，你可能是比方说无法行走啊，听不到、看不见等等。Is it implied to call people disabled? I know there are words like physically challenged or mentally challenged. Would these be better words to say?
Yeah, so I actually had to look this up with the Disability Association, and every country kind of has their different way of, you know, how they approach talking about people with disabilities. This is probably the safest way to talk about them, which is people with disabilities. Okay?
People with disabilities.
Yeah, we don't say, some people don't like the disabled because you're labeling them. And definitely don't say anybody like retarded or say, so you always go with people with blah, blah, blah. Okay, so people who are blind. Okay, that is a better way to say somebody who is disabled.
Yes.
Yeah.
所以呢，当我们要讲说这个别人是有障碍的，比方说我们刚刚讲说他是看不到或听不见等等的，注意到呢，我们尽量不要直接讲说他是 disabled 的，OK，因为你表示说他是不能做到的，表示他能力有问题的，这个是比较不好一点的说法。所以呢，你最好的说法直接就讲说people with disabilities, OK, 是有困难的这个人，比方说他有什么困难，尽量用这种比较婉转一点的说法，会比较礼貌一些。
In Chinese, do you guys differentiate between, I mean, is there a better way to call people who have
Yes,
disabilities?
yeah, because you probably like say 残障, but we avoid using like 残 because it's a bit like disabled, like you cannot do it. So you probably say like physically 身障 or like or mentally, 身心障碍. You probably wouldn't say like you're 残障.
I see. Okay. And even some people don't like the term special needs.
Yes.
Yeah. So
They want to be treated equally. So it's really hard.
It is. Yeah. So you know what? Just call their name.
Yes.
If you know their name, just call their name. And also don't call people handicapped. You can say handicap parking, but don't call people handicapped. That's not a good way to call people. So obviously, after the boy explained his reason for occupying the priority seat, the man was embarrassed, right? He mumbled an apology. To mumble something means to say something quietly in a way that is unclear, making it difficult for people to know what you said. That's kind of like mumbling, okay? You're talking in an unclear way and it's kind of difficult for people to know what you said. You're not enunciating. Okay. Now, Jay Chou, my favorite singer, he is known for mumbling in his songs, right?
Yes. Mumble 就表示呢含糊的说话。你想象一下周杰伦唱歌的样子就很清楚了。那个呢就是 mumble.
Okay, so now let's take a look at writing sample 2. Writing Sample 2. On his way home from school, Rupert was sitting in a priority seat. In fact, he always did so because of a back injury he'd sustained earlier in life. On this particular day, however, an elderly man got on the train seeking a priority seat for himself. Upon seeing a young man in a seat he believed rightly belonged to him, he started shouting. He insisted that Rupert stand up and respect those who actually needed the priority seats. With everyone staring at him, Rupert explained that an old injury made it difficult for him to stand for long periods. Though his problem wasn't visible, he also needed to use the priority seats. The elderly man turned red with embarrassment. He quietly apologized, telling Rupert he shouldn't have judged him by his appearance. By this time, the train was approaching its next stop. Another passenger was able to offer their seat to the man, which he graciously accepted. Okay, so I remember when I pulled a muscle in my back, which I probably talked about maybe too often, it left me bedridden. That means I couldn't get out of my bed. I couldn't even stand straight. It was a long road to recovery, and I even wore this back support belt, okay, to ensure my spine stayed put after the chiropractor realigned my spine. So I was like walking around and I had this like brace looking thing on my back. Sustaining a back injury can be extremely painful and it can cause you to be less mobile. The word sustain means to suffer damage, an injury or loss of money. For example, we can say the Notre Dame sustained major fire damage a few months ago.
Yes.
Right? And when we talk about a company losing a lot of money, we can say the company sustained heavy financial losses last year.
Sustain 这个动词就可以表示这个遭受、蒙受通常呢是不好的东西。哪些东西比方说像巴黎圣母院前阵子惨遭祝融，或者是呢这家公司蒙受这个巨大的财务亏损，像这种不好的东西你遭受到了、蒙受到了，我们就说 sustain。Yeah,
I can totally relate to Rupert's pain. I mean, it's really not a good idea to stand for long periods when you have a back injury because it really puts too much stress on your muscles. And plus, it can be dangerous, right? The word rightly means correctly or for good reason, right? So because Rupert shouldn't be standing for too long and he really shouldn't be standing in a moving vehicle, he can rightly use the seats, right?
Yes. OK, rightly 呢就表示正确的、公正的，或者是呢我们可以像这个，比方说像我们刚刚文章里面讲说 Rupert 因为他这个受伤了，所以他是 rightly 他就是可以好好的来坐这个椅子，或者是呢像这个例句I don't rightly know if it was Tuesday or Wednesday， 我说不准那天是星期二还是星期三，说不准 OK 准不准也可以使用 rightly。
Okay, and the phrase to turn red, well, it means to be very embarrassed, okay? This phrase is actually quite literal since we usually get red in the face when we're embarrassed.
Yes, yeah. 没错，什么时候会脸红当然是你很害羞、很丢脸的时候。所以英文呢，我们也说 turn red， 你很脸红，你害羞，对。
So the take-home message today is don't be too quick to judge.
No.
Don't judge people based on their appearance, okay? So that's all the time we have for today. Thank you so much for joining us. This is Angeline.
This is Sam.
Bye-bye.
Bye.